So we're about 30 miles, I think. Oh, gee, I wouldn't know. Maybe 30 miles south of the Arctic Circle. And I was walking through the tundra to go to this place called Finger Mountain, which is that rock pinnacle over there, which has an interesting geological story as well, which I'm going to tell you a bit later. But on my way there, I stumbled across blueberries. Lots and lots of blueberries. Oh man, they're so good. One of these days I'm going to stop and eat, because I've been kind of in a hurry these past few days. And I just walked past, I think must have been just hundreds of meters of blueberry bushes along trails, and I never stopped to eat any. Oh man, they're delicious. And there's no pollution out here, so they are... Oh man, look at that. They're ready to eat. They're huge. And super sweet. And they're just ready to eat off them. Actually, I think there was a frost already. And they're a bit softer now. But still so good. Whoops. Dropped one. Yeah. That one was a bit alcoholic. I think the ones that got left on the branches got a bit touched by the frost, and they started fermenting on the branches. So, on the way. So nice out here. There's nothing for hundreds of kilometers each way. I feel like I can breathe. I wonder which way. I think this way. Yep, definitely this way. So the legend goes that, or I mean, I don't know if it's a legend, but it's definitely a cited fact that this Finger Mountain, which is a rock extrusion that I'm going to tell you in a bit about how it's formed, it used to serve as a landmark in the tundra for people who were hunting mammoths, back when mammoths were still alive and not extinct. And then later on, it became used as a landmark by the European travelers who made their way out here, and late 18th century, beginning of 19th century, it was used as a landmark by people who were prospecting for gold, and then later by the pilots who would fly to the Arctic Ocean and back. And they say that that mountain points in the way of Fairbanks. So if a pilot got lost or disoriented, because the landscape here is pretty much, I mean, it's pretty much all the same. Nothing really changes. So if they got disoriented, they would see this rock pinnacle, and it would point towards Fairbanks. Now, the story of how these rock pinnacles were formed is quite interesting. So there were cracks in the Earth's crust, and hot magma seeped through those cracks, and then it cooled down and it formed granite rock. And with the passing of time, the softer rock and there wasn't really any soil, but the softer rock around the pinnacles eroded away, and what was left was just these exposed shards of rock. This one's the most famous one, but there's actually shards of rock like this all across the tundra, or at least I've seen them for the past at least 4 or 5 kilometers. And there's another interesting fact. So initially, these shards formed torus. So it's a shape, it's like a donut shape. And then water, in winter, water would seep through the cracks and then, you know, freeze and expand, and in summer it would melt. And then do this repeatedly over the eons, so the torus would break into finger-like formations, and these fingers then fell sideways or outwards as more rocks were pushing from underneath, or were emerging from underneath, and it ended up forming these kind of like rock circles. But unlike the megaliths, they're not man-made rock formations. They're just like natural occurrences. Almost there. The weather is super nice today. Super nice. I was expecting rain and a snowstorm, and it was between 0 and 5 degrees Celsius. I have no idea about Fahrenheit. And it was sunny and I don't know, just smooth weather. It was amazing. I haven't seen any wildlife since I emerged from the taiga. Right now we're in the tundra. I think there's a few more patches of taiga going up, but pretty much, sorry, I thought I heard something. But pretty much the rest of the way it's just tundra. So low-lying shrubs, lichens, moss, this wet, soggy, kind of unpleasant soil to walk on, and just vast open spaces. And there she is, Finger Mountain. You can probably guess why it was called that way, because it kind of looks like an index finger that's pointing. Almost there. Luckily my feet didn't get wet. Ta-da! Finger Mountain, up close. I'm just gonna... It's a good idea when hiking in the taiga to try to step on the rocks, because the plants take forever to grow back if you squash them. So if you step on the rocks, you're not hurting any plants or any super fragile vegetation. Okay, I'm gonna stop filming now because we're there and I have to get back as well, but yeah, see you later.